So unfortunately, when I did the gear cables, I didn't document it brilliantly. I did do a couple of little videos, which I'll cover off most stuff, the hard stuff really, the problems I solved. So when you shorten the cables, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off. You're going to take some original Mark IV cables from a Golf, or mine were actually from a Mark IV Golf, not from the Sharan. Um, that's just how it ended up when I was buying bits and stuff for the conversions and stuff from Scrappy's. I ended up with a huge box of bits. So ultimately, when I got the gearbox, I got the Sharan ends, the Sharan gearbox ends, and they fitted on the Mark IV Golf cables. Um, so that was fine. And I'd already acquired a shift tower from my Mark IV Golf. Um, So you cut off. So you basically take the shortening's done at the shift tower end. So essentially, you take it all to bits, and you'll see in the next video. Essentially, the bit that joins onto the actual shifter itself inside, you just whop that off with an angle grinder and replace it with some stainless tube. You weld that on, and you cut a little slot in the stainless tube, which later on you'll weld through to capture the cable. Now uh, the bit that actually holds the outer sleeve of the shifter, once you've cut off the bit that joins the shifter on the inside, you can pull the cable out. So you can pull it right out, and you can use an angle grinder to go straight through the outer sheath, as it were. It's like a steel. It's almost like a steel wire armored thing. Go straight through it. Now you're left with two pieces. Now all you've got to do, well, what I did then was the bit that locates on the outer sheath. I don't know what you want. It was like almost a grommet. I cut the end off, and then welded again. I measured up and I got another piece of tube and welded that back on to the what was left of the grommet. So now I had a bit that would the my now shortened sleeve would go into. Now I epoxied it in. To be honest with you, the epoxy didn't hold very well, so I just used electrical tape. I'm in the electrical industry. I've got loads of it about, and to be honest with you, it's stronger than you think, and it's held up now for probably 6,000, 7,000 miles. So essentially, I mean, I might use a different epoxy next time. So essentially, just epoxied it and taped it, and then when you cut your little cable, you cut the sort of inner cable down to length. You'll have to mess about doing that. I can't remember how. It wasn't that challenging, so you'll just have to figure that bit out for yourself. Sorry I haven't got any video, but yeah, hopefully you can see the couple of little clips following, and hopefully it'll all make sense to you.
So I've just cut the old end off, and then I've got some stainless 6mm with a 4mm load thing. Probably should have cut the original a little bit further away because it melted it a bit. I'll probably try and get the other one I do. I'll probably try and get it out. But yeah, I'll cut a little slot, and that's where I'm going to dab a bit of weld in just to capture the cable. So it's a bit tricky to weld because there's a piece of rubber there.